sessions at all, keep turning those in to me. We're supposed to have the first set of makeup sessions due today, online via Dropbox, or you can turn them in to me at the end of the session today. I'm gonna have you guys bring up your product development and industry analysis material if you have a hard copy. Otherwise, if you turned it on Dropbox, you can still check off your name. So hopefully, if we have each person from a team, you guys can come on up and turn it in. Is there anyone from team 1?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bring it on up. If you guys didn't get it, it's online on the resource page, and you can do it another time.
Oh, that's a good option.
Thank you. This is okay. Team 2. Hi, Haley. This is your mentor. Thank you. Hey, you can check your name off up there. Team 3. Anyone from Team 3? Jessica, Devon, Jacob? They're not here? Okay. Team 4. Clay. Sarah, Team 4. Bring it on up. Team 5, Amari, Alyssa, Christy. I don't think any of them are here. Thank you, hon. This is your mentor contact info. Thank you. Oh, you're fine. Good job. Way to do it. Check your name off, hon. Tanea, Elena, Emily, do you guys have anything to say?
We turned in our financial plan in Dropbox today.
Awesome. You can go check off the financial plan. This is your mentor contact info. You can go check off your name here. Good job. Ashley, Maddie, Lane, are any of you guys here? I don't think I saw them. That's your team. They're not here. Okay. Brianna, Noah, Sarah. I don't think any of them are here either.
Yeah, right.
Oh, perfect. This is your mentor's contact.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything with you today?
We have another table.
Okay.
Everything's.
Did you turn in electronically though? Okay. And then team 9, Mila, Jonah, do you guys have anything to turn in today? I have this for you. Keep up the hard work though. We want you guys to be able to get all your drafts in and ready to go. So thanks for doing all that work. What else was I going to say? Today we're going to talk about the management plan, which is going to be the next element of the plan that you guys will be working on to turn in at next week's session at Marion. And today we have Whitney Pyle. Whitney Bowers Pyle? That's correct. She just got married, so congratulations to her. And she's going to talk to you guys about the management part of your plan. I'll be handing out a worksheet to each of your team members. This will help guide you through the presentation and also the exercise we'll do at the end of the session. I'll also pass around an attendance sheet, your notes, and a speaker evaluation. Otherwise, without further ado, please give a warm welcome to Whitney Bowers, and let's learn about some management. Thank you.
Scroll down. Yep. Okay. Before I start on the actual presentation, I'm going to ask you guys some questions and try to talk to you a little bit about what you're actually doing instead of just what I do. Does that sound like a good idea? All right, so team 1, where is team 1? That's you guys, right? Have you already picked your business?
Yeah,
What is it?
it's like a farm type thing, but it's also like renewable instead of like the crops dying off every year. They keep growing and stuff like that.
Okay, so farming related, agricultural related. All right, how about team 2? Someone here from team 2? You guys can't be shy, you have to speak up. Okay, what's your business?
We're an eco-friendly restaurant. We grow our own tea and coffee,
Okay,
and it's like a greenhouse.
okay. Very, very good. Anyone from team 3 here?
Yeah, team 3.
You're team 3?
I'll be the representative of team 3.
What's their business?
Their business is a popcorn company, like a Garrett's Popcorn from Chicago.
Okay.
And it's going to be a customizable, online-based, high-quality popcorn business.
Are they actually manufacturing their own popcorn?
Yes, everything's homemade, and there's going to be a physical location with an online aspect to it.
Holy cow. You know, the largest popcorn manufacturer in the world is located in Van Buren. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You might want to tell them.
Yeah.
They can get some good mentors there. All right, team 4. Raise your hand, get excited. Is anyone from team 4 here? Yay! What's your business?
We are an IT support company.
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
We are an IT support company.
Okay, very good. Something I know absolutely nothing about, but I'll do my best. Where was I, Team 5? Anybody here from Team 5? No one's getting excited, so there's no Team 5 here. Okay, how about Team 6? Woo! All right! What's your business?
Ours is a sports psychology center.
Okay. So it's like NFL head injuries or something?
It's like it's local, so it's like when Grant County athletes like are stressed out or have something going on, like mentally or emotionally, they talk to the sports psychologist.
It's very, very good. And you were team number
6.
Keeping me straight, that's good. Number 7, it's Team 7. Anyone here from Team 7, Courtney?
I don't think so.
No? Okay, how about Team 8?
Later.
Okay.
We're a multi-sports complex. It's going to be out by I-69, and it's going to be able to house indoor tennis, indoor basketball, and indoor soccer, so that we can take advantage of AAU and programs like that during the winter.
Okay, great. Very good. Where was I? Team 8 now? 9? 8? 8? Are you 8 or 9? 9, okay. Were you guys 8? I'm bad at keeping numbers straight. Don't ask me about financial advice, clearly.
Okay, my group's business is an at-your-home contracting that interns college students that makes handicapped and veterans or anyone who's disabled their houses more accessible. We do ramps and lifts and just make your house more easy to live in.
Okay, that's great. I'm going to try to keep all that in mind when I'm going through this presentation. I will tell you briefly that I'm the vice president of a company that is both a general contractor and a caseworking cabinet manufacturer. We do retail store fixtures and commercial grade casework, so Division 6 and 12, which is schools, labs, all that kind of stuff. So before that, my many, many years of experience were one with the FDA doing food and drug manufacturing, and with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission before that for about 5 years. So I have a vast amount of experience in numerous industries, and I like to think I'm at least somewhat effective in my role in management. So we're going to talk about that. What you guys are going to need to know, Courtney, I think, or Riley, did you already give them the handout, Riley?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to kind of go through those points that you guys are going to need to put in your management plan, which is part of your overall business plan. And it's important that that is done correctly for numerous reasons, but mainly the most important part of your business plan, obviously, is that if you go to a bank or you go to investors or someone like that and you're asking for help with your business, getting it off the ground and running, that they're going to want to have a reason to invest in you. And they're going to want to invest in you if when you come in there, you're excited about what you do and you have a competent team of individuals in place with you who are going to help you be successful. No one's going to invest in a business that they don't think will be successful. So you want to make sure that when you put together your management plan, you have a real idea of what success looks like for you. Okay? So we're going to talk about how your business is structured and how the management team in your business works together to be successful. Management is not just about telling people what to do. Now, notice it's just not about that, which means as a manager, you do get to tell people what to do. It's not the most important thing that you're going to do all day. All right, it's the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling resources. I don't love that word, so we'll talk about it a little bit more, mainly to achieve specific goals. Obviously, if you don't have a plan, have you guys ever heard the saying, if you don't plan, then you're planning to fail? Yes. Something along those lines. It's very true. If you don't have a well thought out plan and a strategy of how you're going to achieve things, then you're going to fail. So you definitely have to have a good plan first. You're going to organize yourself to understand what aspects of your plan, how you're going to execute all the aspects of your plan. And then the fun part of management is directing and controlling, which is the getting to tell people what to do. Control, again, I said I'm going to talk about that word because I don't love it. More than anything, control, it's about accountability. How do you hold yourself accountable, and how do you hold the people who report to you accountable? To make sure that the things that have to get done every day, every month, all year long get done. One thing that I will tell you about accountability is that there's nothing more important than personal responsibility. You can't hold other people accountable if you don't hold yourself accountable. By showing up here every day and to showing up to these things that you've committed to be at, that's the number one thing. Showing up and being there, doing what you tell people you're going to do. So hold yourself accountable first. Then when you have a team of individuals underneath you who report to you, you're going to be able to hold them accountable because they'll see you holding yourself accountable. I had a very rough instance today at work where the one thing that I've told the people who report to me over and over and over all the time is the one thing we don't mess up are people's paychecks. We can mess up anything all day long, but people who come to work for us, they come because they need to get paid. They have families to support. They're working really hard. I'm never going to mess up their paycheck. Today, I messed up somebody's paycheck. It was my fault. And I called the entire accounting department into my office and I said, I forgot to tell you guys something that you had to know to make this happen. And it's my fault. And now tomorrow, this person is going to get a check. And it's not the right check. It's not the right amount. And I want to know what we can collectively do to fix it. I don't personally have to perform that fix. And because all of these people had to pull together and work together to get that done, I at a minimum owed them a very sincere apology. It was my mistake. Every single one of them has worked for me for quite a while, and they all said, it's no big deal, we'll take care of it, don't worry about it. Had I gone to them individually and said, oh, you guys messed this up and somebody needs to get it fixed, what would their motivation be to do that? But I take full responsibility. It was my fault. I did make a mistake. I hold everybody accountable every day. That's the one thing you don't mess up. I messed it up. I'd like to suspend myself, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I sincerely apologized to them. I told them, that what a big mistake it was. They believe me. They got it fixed, and it's all taken care of. Now tomorrow, this person's going to get the check that he was supposed to have gotten all along, and he'll never know the difference. He won't know, except I will call and let him know that the mistake was made and apologize to him too, simply because I feel like that's the right thing to do. All right, so I'm going to move on, but again, personal responsibility is where you're going to begin with accountability. And if you always have that attitude, then I think you're going to get a team in place that supports you and helps you all the time. Okay? This is a nice cartoon that Courtney or someone put in the presentation. You guys want to read it? No, no one wants to read it? Okay, you can read it.
Find out what the users want before you build it. Why are you explaining my job to me as if I'm an idiot? It's called managing. I assume you're dumb because you work harder than I do and earn less money. My boss would fire me if I just sat in my office and did nothing. So I wander around and say obvious things to you idiots until quitting time. Then I go home and eat until my underpants don't fit. Thanks for asking.
Okay, so the one thing I noticed is that the employee will say in this part that says one thing: why are you explaining to me how to do my job like I'm some kind of an idiot? The rest of the time the manager is talking at the person. Do you think that that's a good manager? No? Would you want somebody to manage you that treated you that way? Okay. Well, when you're running your sports psychology center, how do you think you could talk to your employees to motivate them? Is there?
I guess just try to encourage them to run the business the best that they can. No, I don't really know.
That's a great answer. Try to encourage them. When you hire people to work for your business, you're not going to hire somebody who has no qualifications, who doesn't have the degree required to do the job. You're not going to hire somebody who has been a farmer their whole life to work at a sports psychology center. You're not going to hire a sports psychologist to come work on your farm, right? So it's not going to happen. You're going to hire people in their positions who are great at their jobs, who have experience, who know what they're doing, and then you're going to trust them to do their job. You're certainly not going to call them an idiot, right? So you're certainly not going to laugh at them because they work harder than you and make less money. I will tell you that most of the people in the building that I work in probably do work harder than me. And you know what? Because they do that, I appreciate them very, very much. I encourage them. Okay. I encourage them to continue to do a great job because it's what they do all day long, and they don't need me to tell them what to do or explain how to do their jobs. They're already better at it than I am. I'm lucky that they work for me. So encourage them. What are the responsibilities and what makes a good manager? You guys can read these things: communication, time management, sound decision making, interpersonal skills, technical understanding, thinking outside the box. I can tell you that in our company, I am terrible at thinking outside the box. I worked in regulated roles for 13 years before I moved into the position that I am in now. When you work in a role that reports to the federal government, you don't think outside the box. You think in the box. They explain to you how to think in that box, and you stay in that box regardless of any cost. You just do it. That's what you're trained to do. So, part of why I think I'm an effective manager now, why I've seen other people who I think are really great managers, when you don't have a skill and you know that that's something you're not great at, you get somebody on your team who is, and you trust that person to do those things, which is all part of having good interpersonal skills, having good communication skills. You want to make sure that you're putting people in positions who have skills that you don't have, and then effectively you manage by letting them do their job well. All right? Do you have any questions about that part? Do you have any questions about how long that noise is going to continue to? All right. Okay, so where do you start when you're writing your management plan? Create a list of measurable objectives. Who knows what a measurable objective is? Or why it's important even? You guys have been really quiet back there in the back. I'm putting you on the spot. Tell me in your greenhouse where you're making your coffee and your tea, what would be a measurable objective for how your business is running? Any ideas? No ideas?
We're not sure what measurable objective.
Okay, well, good. That's fine. I can help you. I can help you understand that. A measurable objective would be, all right. Let's say you're going to open a restaurant with your greenhouse and everything that you're growing in it. Do you think it would be important that when you open your restaurant, you generate enough revenue running the restaurant to pay for everything that you have to buy to keep things running? Okay, so a measurable objective for you could be, we need X amount of revenue in order to operate, and we've got to get to that number. So that is a measurable objective. Another thing that you're going to have to keep in mind if you're running a restaurant is that there are certain codes and regulations from the government that you have to adhere to. If you get an OSHA inspection or you get an inspection from the local health department and they say your restaurant's not fit to eat in because this or that is wrong, that would be a measurable objective. You'd have to close your doors and fix that. So a measurable objective is something that you need to make sure you're going to be able to do in your business, and that there is a way for you to figure out how you're doing, if you're doing it well, if you're not doing it well. Does that make sense? Okay. So that is very important, is create a list of those. In our company, we probably have 100, maybe more, of things that we measure daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to, do we have happy employees? Do we have safe employees? And are we making money? Because we are a for-profit business. So all 100 of those things we measure goes down to that in the bottom line. So that's very, very important to have that. Organize the objectives into tasks. So if these are the things that you have to achieve, then how are you going to do it? And that's your task, okay? Within a department, define positions required to complete each task. So again, you're going to have people that actually do the work and get it done. Determine how each objective will be met and then measure the results. That's key. If you don't have your list of objectives, you don't have any idea where you're supposed to go or how you're going to get there. And then if you have them but you're not measuring, well, what are you going to tell yourself? Nothing. You're just going to be kind of out there floundering, and you able to do that. Then hold individuals accountable for meeting the objectives. If you have a department of, let's say 3 people, okay? And this might get a little heavy. Maybe I should use someone else's business. But you're talking about being mental health professionals. If you have a department of 3 psychologists and they are responsible for taking care of, we'll say 100 patients, and you have 90 patients that say, we're never coming back here, we don't feel like you helped us at all, then obviously that's going to be not good at all, okay? But if you have 95 patients who say, I'm going to schedule a follow-up appointment, I'm feeling great, these counselors help me so much, I'm doing so much better, then you've got 3 people there who are doing a really, really good job. So you have to pick your objectives and figure out how you're going to get there. And then holding people accountable. If you have 90 people who say, we're not ever coming back, you better get some new counselors. So, all right. Uh-oh. All right, so parts of a management plan, the ownership structure. How many of you are going to be a corporation? How many of you are going to be an LLC? How many of you are going to be a sole proprietorship? Okay, so you guys aren't sure, right? Is that right? You guys aren't sure? Okay, so a corporation is typically a business that is owned by an individual or multiple individuals, sometimes even an entire board of investors or something like that. And they are incorporated. Anybody can get incorporated. You can incorporate any business you want to. But when you're a corporation, it's typically run by multiple parties. Courtney, do you have any better explanation than that?
I think that was great.
Okay. A sole proprietorship. Can anybody guess what that is?
Well, you have the answer? Oh. Sole proprietorship is just one guy owns it, just, I'm gonna do a DBA and open up a shop.
That's right. I own it. I'm the boss. Everybody works for me. Or nobody works for me. I'm the only person who works there. That's sole proprietorship. Anybody know what an LLC is? It's a limited liability corporation, which basically means, Tim, help me out with this definition. Can you?
You can only lose the assets that are within the partnership.
Right. Okay, so if me and Luke and Tim and Courtney all own an LLC together, we cannot lose our individual assets. But if we have put money or assets into a business together, the LLC owns those assets, and if anything happened to our business, someone sued us, we went under, could make, whatever, then those assets are there for the taking if there's any left. Okay? So you have to know what your ownership structure is going to be. Are you going to be a corporation? Are you going to be an LLC? Are you going to be a sole proprietorship? And for all I know, I'm not a wonderful business expert, there might be other alternatives. I'm not 100% sure about that, but do a little research and make sure you know how your business is going to be structured with overall ownership. You're going to need an internal management team. If you're a sole proprietorship and there's only one of you running your business, there's only one of you involved, you're single-handedly making a product, then obviously the only thing you're probably going to need is some tax advice, and if you're in any kind of regulated industry, maybe some outside help for legal help, whatever, for managing those government regulations. And they're pesky. We'll talk about those later. External management team, kind of what I just touched on. An accountant, a lawyer. You'll need some help. Almost every business, even small businesses now, need help from the SBA or somebody to help them through government red tape. Every single business is subject to government red tape, no matter how small you are. And human resources. How are you going to manage your people? So all that's going to be part of your management team. It's all going to go into your management plan. You guys have questions about that? No? You're experts, huh? All right. Okay, in a sole proprietorship, a partnership, a corporation, you're going to have different levels of management. Why are you going to have different levels of management? Why do you think that's important? How come everybody can't be on the same playing field? Everybody makes decisions the same. Why would that be a bad idea? Yes?
Well, you always need somebody in charge because if everybody's running it, you're going to have a million different ideas and conflicts because everybody wants to run their way.
That's right. That's exactly right. I'm a vice president in my company, and then we have another vice president in our company, and he always says, when everyone's responsible, no one's responsible. And it's quite true. We'll be in a meeting sometimes with our entire staff, and somebody will bring up a problem, and everybody, oh yeah, that is a problem. Let's fix that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. When the meeting gets close to being finished, one of us in the senior leadership group always says, okay, we said we were going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this. Who's going to do it? Most of the time it's crickets chirping. Nobody wants to take ownership. Nobody wants to do it, and I don't blame them. But inevitably, somebody will always step up and say, I'm going to take care of that. The next question is, when? When are you going to take care of it? Well, I'm not really sure. It might take a week. It might, okay, give me a date. Okay, and then let us know the progress along the way. So you always have to assign somebody. You need a chain of command. So if a general laborer in our shipping and receiving department says, I'm going to take that responsibility and I'm going to take care of it by next Tuesday, we're going to expect that that gets done by next Tuesday. His direct supervisor will follow up with him and make sure that that gets done. If that doesn't get done, then his supervisor, the supervisor's supervisor, is going to be asking some pretty tough questions. And that goes back to the accountability that we talked about earlier. We've got to be able to hold people accountable. In a chain of command, it's very easy to do. This boss tells this person to do something, they tell this person, and it just goes, back up and down from there. In our business, we have CFOs, COOs, CEOs, vice presidents, presidents. You guys know what all those terms are? Yes, no. Our CEO is a chief executive officer, and that term is most of the time synonymous with the president or the highest up person. COO is chief operations officer in most companies, and that person is responsible for all the major operations of the company. CFO, finance, chief financial officer. Presidents and vice presidents, they're all just fancy terms. Really, it's the people at the top who really are ultimately responsible and whose heads roll when things don't go right. Everybody else is a little bit insulated, which is nice. First, middle managers, operation managers, plant managers. We have those in our business, and I'm sure that some of you will have those in your business as well. It's important that you have the right number of management and the right levels. If you have a two-person business, let's say you're the business manager and your partner is the counselor, and that's it, you're the only two people that work there. It is important that ultimately somebody be there to make the decision, but you obviously don't need multiple levels of management or multiple job titles. So you have to obviously use reason when you're putting these plans together. If you're only going to be a two-person business, you don't need all that. If you're going to be a 30 or a 40, or you want to be the largest popcorn manufacturer in the whole world, then you're going to need a lot of different levels of management. And you have to individually figure out what that is for your business. My favorite position in our company are our administrators and office managers because they get more work done than everybody else combined. All right, so internal management, identify what job responsibility categories are existent and to whom those responsibilities are going to be assigned. We kind of touched on that already. Examples, sales and marketing, operations, accounting, administration, production, research and development. That would be key in your business. Research and development would be huge, don't you think? No, I think so too. All right, so, and that's going to be your management team outline. All right, external resources. I touched on this earlier, you guys. It's really, really important. Like I said, every single business, whether it be big or small, there is government red tape that you have to be aware of. And you're going to need a team of external people who do not work for you full time, but you can contact when you have questions or need advice. I get these motor carrier emails and letters all the time from the Department of Transportation, and our business is in trouble a lot with the Department of Transportation. I will tell you, since the government is shut down, it's become much less of a problem. Our drivers, people who work for us and who are responsible for delivering product, have to abide by very, very strict government guidelines, and they have to pull over and be waited in a wait station to get their logbook inspected. And it's inevitable that almost every single time somebody gets pulled over, their logbook is not filled out properly. We've spent countless hours and thousands of dollars training individuals on how to fill out their logbook properly, and I've come to the conclusion that we really need to stop delivering product anywhere and just make somebody else do it, because no matter how much money we spent and how much time we've done training with these logbooks, like, they're never, ever, ever right. So I pay a lot of money out and write a lot of checks for Department of Transportation violations, and it's not fun, but it's something that we pay a lot of money for, and it's definitely something that, say your restaurant does really, really well and somebody wants to buy your product in another state, you're going to have to know, how do I get that product there? Do I need a driver? How are we going to get it there and make sure that you're abiding by all those rules and regulations? Most of which you're not even going to know. We recently got cited because we did not pay New York State highway usage tax. Guess what? That's my job. I didn't know that if I was delivering product in New York, I had to pay a New York State highway usage tax to the state of New York. But I do. And you don't get credit for not knowing what you're supposed to know. You can't say, well, I didn't know. So, okay, well, you can say that, but here's your fine, pay it. So it's very, very important to have those external resources handy. Are they costly? Yes, they are. So you have to build that into the expenses of running your business, which means you need to generate more revenue to cover it. All right, internal management. How are you going to hire people? How are you going to train them? How are you going to pay them? That's all really, really important. And it's going to be part of your management plan. Okay? Are you guys nervous? Do you think maybe now you don't want to be entrepreneurs anymore? I feel like I'm scaring you to death. All right, this is probably the most important thing you guys are going to need to know about your business plan, and that's when you go and you present it. Okay? You're going to present your business plan somewhere if you want somebody to invest in your company, or if you just want to show off your idea, how great it is. In any case, you're going to have to present. When you go and you present your plan to people, you're going to have good resumes written for all of your management staff. Anyone that you're going to include in your plan, you have a resume for them. You guys worked on resumes at all, ever? Yes? Is that part of?
Not with us.
We don't do it. Okay. So that's important. You're going to need to know how to write a resume. You're going to know how to make yourself look great on paper. I can tell you that if you read my resume, I am so amazing. You wouldn't even believe it. I read that thing, I'm like, who is that lady? Holy cow! Yeah, that's actually me. I got some help writing that resume. But it's really important, you want to highlight all the things that you do that are great, highlight your past experience. On paper, nobody loves me more than I love me, and you guys need to make sure that when you write your resumes for yourself and the rest of your management team, that nobody likes you more than you like you, okay? Interviews. When you go and you have an interview with somebody, you want to present yourself well. You want to present your team well. If you have a person on your team who is excellent technical expert, they're best at what they do in their field, but couldn't carry on a conversation with another human, probably don't bring that person, or talk for them. Minimize their interaction. We have those people. We have people who are literally the best experts in our field. There's nobody better than them. I would not take them and bring them to the bank with me and say, hey, we need a loan for our business. And look, the greatest guy here in the world, when he can't talk. It's a problem. So think about those things when you're presenting your ideas, when you're bringing in, when people are going to be interviewing you, asking you questions about your business. You can't just have the person there who's a technical expert. You have to have somebody there who can really interact well with other people. And presentation to clients, it's the same thing. If you're going to go and you're going to try to market your product somewhere to someone, you want to sell your coffee. Trying to think. Anyway, you want to make sure that you bring the best people to present those ideas that you can. My brother is the president of our company. There is nobody better with certain demographics than my brother. He's a very young guy, he's very charismatic, he's very funny. There's nobody better than him. When we want to hit certain demographics and we want to go into colleges and say, hey, we're going to provide all of your casework, and the team of individual, they just graduated college themselves. There's nobody better to bring. If we're going to go to a women's hospital and try to get bid work from them, probably I'm going to go. So you really want to play up those demographics when you're presenting to people. You want to send in the best person for that job. It doesn't always have to be the same person. And all that's really important for you guys to be thinking about. That's the end of the show, of the slideshow. I want you guys to pull out that. So I think it looks like this on the front. Okay, and then looks like this in the back. Mine's 2 pages. All right, so in your teams, discuss the following, share your ideas with the rest of the group. What are the individual strengths, weaknesses, and interests of your team members? You guys all have this handout? Yes? All right, and based on your analysis, what positions should your team members fulfill in your business? This is something that you guys are going to want to work on. Since you're just getting it for the first, since you just are getting it today, it's a good time for you guys to talk to each other about it. You have the mentors here. You have me here for about another, I don't know what time it is. 5-10 minutes. I'm glad to answer any questions that any of you guys might have. But in any case, it's definitely something that you guys want to think about. It's a deliverable. And on a total side note, I really want to tell you guys that I admire what you're doing. When I was in high school many years ago, we did not have a program like this. We had a different program, and it was called a co-op program. So my senior year of high school, I went to school for 3 hours, and then I worked for 6 hours, and I got high school credit for that. I graduated. My first job, I went to college, graduated from college. My first job was at this nuclear station. I was 20 years old, and no one knew that, and no one cared. I told Courtney a story this morning that she asked me to share with you guys. The first boss that I ever had called me in his office about 6 months after I started working there, and he said, you show up at work every single day, and you're dressed professional, you act professional, no one would guess you're 20 years old, but you suck at your job. You are terrible. You are the worst employee in the department by far, and if you don't change some things, you're never going to get anywhere. And I started to cry. Of course, I was a 20-year-old girl, right? I started crying, and you're so mean. And he said, literally threw a box of Kleenexes at me, and he said, I am your boss, and you are a professional. We don't cry at work. Get it together. I'm not here to be nice to you, not here to be your friend. Do your job. Okay. 4 years later, I left that job. I was a manager at that point in that company. I left that job for a job that paid about twice as much to be a manager in another company. If it wasn't for that guy yelling at me, being mean to me, and telling me how terrible I was, I would never be where I am today. So, you guys being here and doing what you're doing is such a huge start. I'm a mother of a 15-year-old son, and if he was doing something like this, which he's not, he does other things, he's very into ag, FFA, I would love that for him. It's such a great opportunity. It's so important to start now. And you guys are going to hear that from your parents, you're going to hear it from your mentors, you're going to hear it all the time, and you'll hear it from me too. What you're doing is great. Keep at it, doing what you're doing, and use people for help. Okay, you've got a team of people that are more than willing to help you. And whatever you guys are doing so far, so good. Keep it up. Do you have questions for me? No? It's because I'm so great. I answered everything along the way, right? I told you nobody likes me better than me. All right, anything else?
I have a question.
Yes.
What are some things you might put, if you know the answer to this, in a business plan about your management team? Like, what are some good things to include?
Our management team, and I guess too, it would matter where I'm presenting my business plan. If I'm presenting my business plan to a bank of investors because I want to get a loan for my business, or if I was presenting my business plan to maybe a potential other business for a merger acquisition type thing. It would be different. One of the things I would highlight is that our management team consists of 4 senior leaders and then our president, so 5. That combined probably have 110 years of experience. That's huge. Now, and obviously none of us are 110 years old, thank God. But, you know, I have 17 years of experience. My co-vice president at ACS has 52 years of experience. He's so old. Another of the vice presidents in our company has 30 years of experience. Another one of our people has at least 24 years of experience. That's huge. If we're going to make a pitch to a bank or for a possible, you know, merger acquisition, we're going to say we have a solid team of people in place who all have significant amount of experience. We're great at what we do. You're not going to find a better team in place if you want to succeed. So you definitely, like I said, when you're writing these things, nobody likes you more than you like you. It's important. Did I answer your question? You're good. Okay. Other questions?
If you guys don't have any other questions, can we give Whitney a round of applause? And like Whitney said, you guys have a couple minutes here. I know some of you have a homecoming football game to go to, so we won't keep you long, but I really encourage you guys to talk with your team, take advantage of this opportunity, find out what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and what position you can best fulfill. Because like Whitney said, your experiences and your talent are going to be your most valuable asset when you're putting together your management team. And when you're worried about format, you know, how do we write a management plan? Well, you have an outline on your guys' worksheet, and whether you want to write paragraphs, put it in bullet point lists, it depends on the structure of your business and you know how many people you want to have in it. But as long as you can answer all of those different bullet points and questions on that worksheet, your management plan should be good. And so I encourage you guys to work on that now during your team times and even outside of with your mentors to really put together an effective management plan. And again, if you guys can have a draft together by next week, that'll keep you guys on track. I can't believe next week is session 7. That's crazy. We only have 9 sessions total, so things are coming together. I'm excited. Otherwise, I don't really, do you have any other announcements?
If you have your makeup worksheets, make sure you give those to me today.
Yes, makeup worksheets, definitely. Otherwise, if you guys don't have questions, have fun on homecoming week. One more round of applause.